Good morning to you, lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. It's a Monday and it's a holiday, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. Yes, today is Easter Monday, and I know you are preparing to go for your picnic, to the beach, to go for that church get-together, or whatever activity you have this morning. But before you go, you need to feed yourself and get abreast with what is actually happening in Ghana here. So we are here to feed you breakfast on relevant issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. I am your host, Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu, and I'll be doing this with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Dabiado, so who will be sharing their informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. Remember that we are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on Instagram, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do all to log on and send in your comments. Let's get interactive right here on the show. Good morning to you, ladies, and you're welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Ms. Gina, how are you?
I'm fine.
I'm good. How was the Easter?
It was fine.
Christ has risen. He has risen indeed. Miss Debbie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
How was the Easter break? Easter holiday.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was fantastic. If not for work, what are you supposed to be doing today?
Today I had a lot.
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
Kaore, drumsticks, chicken.
A lot, yeah.
Games, having
Easter
fun.
Nankasa. Today is the Easter day.
Yeah,
Nankasa.
today is actually the Easter
because
day.
from Friday to Thursday to Friday, it's just like you celebrating the death of Jesus Christ. So after Jesus resurrected, the next day is the Easter day in Nankasa.
It's the Easter day. So today is actually the main
yeah.
Today is actually the main ish. So wherever you are, please enjoy responsibly and take good care of yourself. Right. Let's dive into the main issue for this morning. CAT International to government fast-track competition law amid sachet water price hike. The West Africa Regional Director of CAT International, Apia Kusi, is calling on government to urgently pass a competition and consumer protection law. This follows a planned increase in sachet water prices by producers, expected to take effect from April 6, 2026. In simple terms, he says Ghana currently lacks strong laws to check on fair business practices, especially when companies come together to fix prices. According to him, the latest price hikes highlight serious gaps in the system, particularly when it comes to preventing cartels. Businesses secretly arguing on prices, protecting consumers from unfair pricing, ensuring smaller businesses can compete fairly. He explained that while industry associations are important, they must not be allowed to influence prices in ways that harm consumers. Mr. Kusi is proposing that a clear competition law is being implemented, an independent body to investigate businesses, powers to enforce rules and punish wrongdoing. He believes that this will help ensure that prices are determined by fair competition, not agreements behind closed doors. He also noted that such a law would protect consumers, support businesses, and boost investor confidence in Ghana's economy. The sachet water producers, however, says the price increase is due to rising production costs caused by global supply challenges. So today is 6th, and there will be a price hike in sachet water. So if you are in traffic and you call the pure water seller and they tell you that pure water is 1 cedi, just take note that that effect is supposed to take place today. And due to that, Mr. Kusi is saying that there should be a competition law that is going to govern how businesses, increase prices and not to have agreements backdoor. And this is expected to protect small businesses and also protect the consumers as well. Mr. B, what are your thoughts on this, please?
Yeah, I think that is a good one, because this has been something very common in Ghana here, where if a company, so let's say for instance you are a retailer, you go to purchase the items in bulk and then you come to sell, where you take your goods from, when they increase price, automatically you increase your price because you feel like when you don't do so, it's going to affect you. But not often do people, like where you take your main good from, sometimes they increase the prices on that, but it doesn't really affect you, the retailer. So even if you add like 10% to whatever you sell, you're going to still make profit, but it's different. Sometimes they add like 10 cedis to what they are selling, and then these retailers will add like 15 cedis. They add more than what they are supposed to, and that is because we don't really have laws that track and then check all these things. Imagine we have laws that track and then check the rate at which these retailers increase their prices when it is being announced that there is a global increment on goods and services. When there are laws that check all these things, I mean, they'll be very careful on how they increase their prices, because mind you, when it goes too high, it affects with the consumer, and automatically it affects everything. So if I'm to buy water like 1 cedi, the 1 cedi we might see is small, but it's not small. Someone might also say that I'm buying water 1 cedi, then I have to also increase whatever I'm selling. Because if I'm buying water 1 cedi, then what is the essence? In pure water, it shouldn't be something that should be sold at a very expensive MAE.
Yeah,
pure water should be something that should be sold like maybe 20% simple. But you will be surprised that some people will sell pure water, a sachet of pure water 1 cedi. Because I kept thinking about this whole thing. Here lies the case. As it stands now, a lot of traders do not take 20 pesos. Yeah. So I kept asking myself, so how are they going to, sell pure water? Is it 70 pesos, 80 pesos? Because still you still have 20 pesos in it.
I had that experience yesterday. I was actually having 100 cedis and I had 20 pesos, 5. Someone gave it to me. I went to the mall and they gave it to me. So I was buying water and I gave the woman 20 pesos 3. She was like, she's not going to take it.
Yeah.
And I took my money and I left her. I could have actually bought a bottle of water, but I will not buy.
No, they won't take it.
She really pissed me off.
She's not the only person. All the traders in Ghana of late do not take 20 pesos. They don't take it because they said when they also go out to purchase something with that 20 pesos, they don't take it. But some time ago, the governor of Bank of Ghana, he gave a directive that all this thing amount to the inflation and things we see, accept it. It's our money. We cannot do away with the coins. It is not only paper. So if you are doing away with the coins, it means that there's going to be a lot of pressure on the paper, on a 10 cedis note, the 5 cedis and a 1 cedi note. And so that is why we have the coins. So now that there's increment, pure water used to be 50 pesos. So definitely they'll sell it at 1 cedi. Because they'll tell you that they don't spend 20 pesos or just 70 pesos now. That means that the 20 pesos is useless according to them. So it means that we are going to buy. I wouldn't be surprised that a time will come and we'll even be purchasing water at 2 cedis, because trust me, things will not go back to how it used to be. 1 cedi there is too harsh, but well, whatever will come, we have no option unless you leave the country. So long as you are still here, you have to face it.
We have to face it. Right, Miss Regina, your thoughts on this, please. But why don't we even have a law to actually protect these businesses and also consumers as well? Because if the pure water sellers say they are going to increase it to 1 cedi, the government doesn't have a say because we don't have any law back in it.
Okay. So per your question, I just did a research and it said there's no law in Ghana protecting such. So I think I would agree. Is it Mr. Adomako? I would agree with him that they need to bring up a law or passage of a competition and consumer protection framework. Automatically, it protects consumers and all individuals. when I saw the news, I was like, who did they consult? Who did they go in how would I put it, in a dialogue with? Did they go in a communication form with the government? Because in as much as I believe they are private institutions, you need to make sure that at least Penyibi Woma, who would have interaction with the government or the right stakeholder, and at the end of the day, either they find another alternative to solve the issue, or they come out publicly and give Ghanaians heads up that this is what is happening and this is the reason why we are doing this. But it looks like with the decision they took, it's mandatory. How would it's a dictatorship, like they've dictated for us that this is what we are supposed to do. Me, the moment I saw, I was like, oh, very soon this bloggers will pick it up and create content out of it. And check, I saw one blogger Titano in Sono Mudigu Rabemuno, and I saw a blogger creating a content. I'm saying penny, and I watch a channel saying if it's an echo when I Unya tappings, you treat it well, you just refrigerate it, and that is all. I can't remember specifically that water used to be 20 pesos.
Yes.
I think as at when 2016, 2017, 20 pesos, and it got to 50 pesos. Now they are telling us that a single sachet of water. And then I said,
Who's now paying so?
Because if you want to drink 2 water, 2 cedis. If you want to drink 3 cedis, oh no, it's expensive, very expensive. And all this boils down to competition, because there is no competition between this sachet waters. And at the end of the day, I believe the people who would really benefit from this are your mom or Tom with their back 6 cedis. Yeah. But I don't even know if they would also increase this.
So it will now be increased to 15 cedis.
6 cedis to 15 cedis.
So, yeah, 15 cedis.
A bag of water.
Yes.
A bag of water was like 10 cedis.
I mean the 50 pesos owners was 10 cedis. Mm-hmm. Now it will be increased to 15 cedis.
Oh, okay.
So those are selling 3 for 1 cedi. If it was 5 cedis, then probably it will be like 8 cedis or 10 cedis, if I'm not mistaken.
This is honestly, it's bad.
Yeah.
I feel first off, the competition as we are all speaking about, and also communication should really go on with the right directives. They shouldn't just wake up and bring a law themselves.
Right. Moving on. Mama announces 60 hectares irrigation project for year-round tomato production. President John Dramani Mahama has announced plans to construct a 60-hectare irrigation project to support continuous tomato production across the year. This project is expected to help farmers grow tomatoes in both rainy and dry seasons, reducing the usual shortages and price increases at certain time of the year. Speaking at the Kwewu Business Forum on April 14th, the president said the president said the initiative will also include shortage and let me take that again. Speaking at the Kwewu Business Forum on April 4th, the president said the initiative will also include storage and processing facilities. This is to prevent post-harvest losses where large quantities of tomatoes go to waste during peak production periods. He said the goal is to ensure steady supply of tomatoes all year, reduce waste when there is excess production, help farmers earn more stable incomes, and stabilize prices for consumers. President Mahama also stressed that agriculture and agribusiness will be a major focus of his government. He explained that the government will take a targeted investment approach, selecting key areas and deliberately investing resources both locally and internationally to achieve quick and measurable results. 60 hectares project for tomato production year-round for both rainy season and for both dry season. This is actually another promise, let me say, he made during the Kwewu Business Forum in Kwewu. Miss Regina, another promise.
The way you are saying another promise
Of
is
course.
like you don't trust them to
It's another
implement
promise.
it.
Stands now, you're still trusting these people.
And you get it.
Okay, so when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a good idea. But as you are saying another promise, how well are they going to implement this? Because at the end of the day, when this is implemented, as you said, it will support year-round tomato production, it will reduce post-harvest losses, stabilize tomato prices, increase farmers' income, and strengthen our food security. As it stands now, when it comes to the aspect of tomato, we are not secured at all. We are still having challenges with it. When Burkina Faso brought a ban, we had to go to them, communicate, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, in a way it was a disgrace to me, because as old as you are still begging for something you can do commonly for yourself. And just yesterday, there was a news that a truck full of onions and other stuff, was Nigeria. And if they don't come back in time, just a
shortage in onion.
And saying to be an onion so someone ban no bobe thing.
Yeah, actually know what Nigeria says saying.
They've been
terrorists?
No,
not really.
I didn't really read into it, but I saw it
let me
this morning.
find that. I think I posted it, but
Tomato boy.
It's like they were intercepted.
yes.
Onion so boy.
Okay, so suspected armed men in Samai, a small town in Kebbi State, Nigeria, have allegedly blocked and detained several Ghanaian trucks transporting vegetables from Niger through Nigeria to Ghana. The incident is linked to tensions between traders in both countries. Some Nigerian onion traders in Accra allegedly had their goods prevented from being offloaded by certain Ghanaian traders. The armed men are said to be retaliating by taking similar action against Ghanaian transporters. So in other words, revenge.
You do me, I do you some.
Man no go vex. So let's take it from this point. Nigeria, for they are coming to Ghana, they want to maybe come and sell onions, and the Ghanaians are preventing them from making sure that they sell it.
Just like the way we have the Nigeria selling at Abuso.
And so now Nigerian Ghanaians are also there. They are preventing them from bringing their goods.
And because I even saw in the news that some people is it in the northern region, they've harvested tomatoes and they are not getting people to buy.
And it's just there.
And it's just there.
For that one, there is no news.
So why are we there?
We need tomato.
We need tomato.
So why don't the traders here go there and take it? Or better still, let them just
get it
and deliver it to you. Rather than traveling all the way from here to Nigeria.
I don't think they don't get customers to purchase their tomato, but it's like we don't have enough customers to buy the quantity of their produce. It's like the produce is now more than the customers that are coming in. So what the government needs to do now is to get a warehouse, buy directly from these tomato sellers. And then we export it. If better still not even export it, let's store it. When we are running short of tomato, then we go for what we have in our storeroom.
But now we don't even have storage facilities.
We don't have any. Do we even have factory that process tomato into tomato paste?
They don't.
All right, Miss Debbie, would that be all for your submission?
On what?
On President's Miss.
See, we are tired. Sincerely speaking.
See, you and I cannot be tired. It's actually the responsibility of the media.
Exactly. There is no way we can be tired, but in a way we are tired.
We can't say that we are tired.
For now, you have to bear with me because we are tired. 60 hectares is not something small. Are you just saying it because you want to excite the people? Or you are saying it because you meant it and you want to do it? Because as it stands now, this is something that is very dear to our heart. We need tomato. And it was a disgrace to me when I saw the trade minister and even the president going to, in Burkina Faso, to having talking terms with the president just because they want them to lift the ban. And truly, they've lifted the ban. There is nothing wrong with that. But I feel like, why are we doing so much harm to ourselves? We can do it. This should be a call to us. it will be difficult, but it's a step at a time. I'm not sure the Burkina Faso country, they just woke up and then they've gotten to where they've gotten to as a country, and that everybody wants to import tomato from their country. No, so we can also start from somewhere. They still went there, and now they've lifted the ban, so we will still get tomato, but they're not as at now. We will buy it at a higher price than we used to, because it's as if they're giving a directive and they are now going against their own directives. So they're going to sell it to you at a more higher price. And then we all learned that the import of tomato annually costs like 400 million annually. So imagine we can invest this. So if you're saying 60 hectares and then you're bonny, but do you also have plan that after you've given out the 60 hectares to plant this tomato, do we have warehouses that are going to store this tomato? Are there any arrangement that we are going to get factories that can process this tomato into tomato paste? Do we even have the intention of exporting our own tomato? This should be something we should think.
So this shouldn't be just a promise making to the people, because if you say that we are going to provide 60 hectares of irrigation for these people, so after the irrigation takes place and they've cultivated the tomato, what happens to the tomato? How would they store it? How would they make sure that this tomato actually gets to the people demanding for this? Have we actually, as a country, sat down to, put all these things into consideration before coming out with a promise? Because you can't just say it just like that and then out of the blue it just happen. But anyway, since he said he will do it, let's see if he will do it. We just hope that this is not another form of something that you just say and you just leave it just like that. Right, let's proceed. Effect of Middle East war. Governments must roll out measures to counter propaganda by NPP. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Ransford Jampo, is urging government to step up communication and counter misinformation as it introduces measures to ease current economic pressures. Professor Jampo said governance is about solving both expected and unexpected problems, especially during difficult times. He believes governments must not only act, but also clearly explain its actions to the public. He stressed that when people understand what government is doing and why, they are more likely to support those decisions. Professor Ransford linked Ghana's current economic challenges, including rising fuel prices, to global events such as the Russia-Ukraine war and tensions in the Middle East, noting that these issues are affecting economies worldwide. He warned that some political actors must take advantage of the situation to spread propaganda and misinformation for political gain. According to him, government appointees must take responsibility for addressing false narrative, not leave communication to only a few officials. He also welcomed government's plans to introduce interventions to cushion Ghanaians, but stressed that such measures must focus purely on reducing the burden on citizens, despite the challenges. Professor Jampo expressed confidence that the country is still on the right path. So he's saying that we are facing, we've seen the event taking place in Russia, Ukraine, and also Iran and USA as well. We've seen these events both in the Middle East and Russia, Ukraine. And if we don't inform the people, if we don't inform we the citizens with the right information, other political parties will take it up, use it as propaganda and misinform people. So in as much as we have to, tell the people that we are on the right path, we have to encourage ourselves. We also have to use the opportunity to also inform the people properly of what is happening and not to leave it for just a few government officials to be doing the communication. Ms. Debbie?
No matter how good you are working or no matter the energy you are pushing into a particular project, it all boils down on how you communicate it to the people. You might be doing doing a great job, but when you don't communicate well to the people, they don't get to see what you are doing. I'm saying this because after President Mahama lost in his first term, that was 2016. After he lost, there were a lot of speculation that he did so well. That was when we got to know that this man was working so hard behind the scene. They brought out a whole book on what he did, and even videos on what he did. And so I should tell you that the communicators as at that time, I don't know whether they were scared or not, but when you compare his second coming to the first time, you could see that the NDC communicators are really putting in much effort. They are trying to put across what the president is doing. So that is it. If you don't come out clean to communicate to the people, this is what you are doing. Explain further. Clear the doubt of people. When you don't do that, the opposition party, who are also struggling and putting in their best to come into power, will take it on and then say something different. When we take this cocoa issue for example, we all know how the MPP treated cocoa farmers when they were in power. We didn't even see instances where they went to these cocoa farmers on their farm to communicate with them. We didn't even see instances where they gave anything like free of charge to these cocoa farmers. But immediately this current administration came on board, and then they promised that they are going to increase the prices of cocoa, and they couldn't do it. We saw what they were doing. So imagine, when you don't come out to clarify things, when you don't meet with the cocoa farmers, you don't explain to them that this is what is ongoing, the opposition party will take it on and they'll say something else. So with what Professor Jampo is saying, he's right.
He's right.
You need to come clean and then talk to the people.
And talk to the people.
You have to be even sincere and tell them the challenges you are facing.
This is what we are facing.
Let them know if you are capable or we are not, so that we'll think of a different alternative. Because just as we are all saying, right?
Exactly.
So when you come out clean and then you let the people know your weakness and your strength, they might even come out and then, help you and then strengthen your weaknesses and make it appear so good.
Right. Thank you so much. So in a nutshell, Ms. Debbie is saying that two heads are better than one. So tell the people, be honest with the people that this is what is actually happening, so that if there are other alternatives, they can actually give to you. If there are other alternatives, they can actually give to you. Mr. Gina, don't you think that should actually be the case?
Yeah. So with what Professor Jampo is saying, I think is a very good call, and we all need to hit to that, especially the government. So communication is critical during economic hardship. So when prices rise, especially fuel, transport, food, it is the duty of the government to come out and explain to us what is bringing about the rise in all these items. And also, if they keep quiet, that is when misinformation comes in. People would start, especially the opposition party, they'll start spreading rumors, especially which are not true. We've even seen instances where the one minister in parliament specifically said something about one airplane which was false, but at the end of the day he said it and everyone was talking about it, but at the end of the day it was false. And also it would bring mistrust between the public. And next is, global events really do affect Ghana, no matter what we do. So far as we rely on these people, whatever issues that they have, it would affect us globally. It would affect us no matter what we do, because we are relying on them. Let's use Burkina Faso. We are relying on them for tomato. So the decision they took to ban the export of tomato, it's affected that. So let's say the issue of fuel also, we get our fuel directly from Iran. Now, Omo Bombay, it would affect us. So let's put the mentality or the idea aside that when an issue is going on in another country, we wouldn't have any adverse effect on us. If only we don't rely on them, then there's no issue. Also, misinformation can also worsen economic situations, and I think that's all.
That's
Yeah,
all.
that's all.
Right. So the government needs to come clean and tell us of our economic challenges. Right. Thank you so much for joining us on the news review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Welcoming you all to Today in History. This is the Easter edition of some global observances and Today in History. First off, the United States officially enters World War I in the year 1917, when Congress approved a declaration of war against Germany, ending a policy of neutrality. President Woodrow Wilson signed the declaration following Germany's resumption of unrestricted submarine warfare and the interception of the Zimmermann telegram. 1924. First successful around the world flight begins, when 4 U.S. Army Air Service planes took off from Sand Point near Seattle, Washington. The 175-day expedition used Douglas World Cruiser float planes named Seattle, Chicago, Boston, and New Orleans, covering 27,550 miles in 74 stops. To some few global observances, Easter Monday, a time for Christians to meditate on the meaning of Jesus' resurrection in their own lives and the implication of this truth for their faith and their relationship with God. In short, Easter Monday is a day of joy, celebration, and renewal for Christians around the world. So, as I read, it is a day, the meaning of Jesus' resurrection in their own lives and the implications of this truth for their faith and their relationship with God. So in as much as today is a day for us to go out and celebrate, it is also a day for us to reflect the true essence of the death of Jesus Christ in our lives. If you do not have this notion, then it means the death of Jesus Christ is meaningless to you and it wouldn't have any effect. I saw a post from someone today saying that today I am sin free. My body count has gone to 0. All the sins I've committed is 0 because Jesus has died for me. And that is the person speaking into reality or speaking into what he or she believes. So whatever belief you have would work for you. So if you don't believe in the death of Jesus Christ, if you don't believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, it would not work for you. Lastly, Jump Over Things Day. It is a light-hearted, unofficial holiday encouraging people to be active and playful by jumping over objects. The day sometimes associated with birthdays or simply breaking up the routine. Promotes fun, physical activity, and creativity in movement. So it is a day for you to jump over objects. So you can assemble down objects and jump over them. It is a day just to have fun and also keep fit. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for Today in History and some observances of the day. I heard you reading something, jump. Are we supposed to be jumping today?
Yes.
Today is jumping day.
Yes. Jump over things.
Jump over things.
So probably the chair, you have to jump over it. You can as well as jump over this desk. It's all about having fun and also keeping fit. So it's part of exercising the body.
Did they think about the side effect of jumping? So
what's the side effect?
So what if I jump and then I break my leg or my head?
Why would you break your leg? The things you've been jumping, do you ever break your leg?
What are the things?
I don't know. Maybe you jump over things. Hey, so you're trying to tell me that if you jump, you break your leg.
Okay. It actually reminds me of a story one of my friends told me that, oh, ne mamia ye, I saw that. Obia won from a chance man on Meji. Or so superhero. Or cocoa jumping.
And our cage and in a good
cage and good near good now. Well, no, you're born as a little hospital.
I don't know if you've watched this TikTok video of a very, I think people have even used it as a sticker. A small boy and he is he Sese? I think they call something Sese.
Like rolling.
And I've been quiet. I've been quiet. See, Jaso. I could only shiny negu.
Oh,
Sada no.
Yeah, bono.
One guy, bono.
No, that's actually the whole family's food.
No, I can imagine. No.
Hey, why are we like that? So today is jumping day. They say you should jump over something. So you can pick. So this is what I can jump over. Please.
It's too small.
Oh, what do you want me to jump over?
I can't jump over this deck.
Oh, please, I can't do that. I'll break my legs. I'll even break my head or even my teeth. So today is Easter Monday.
Yeah.
We're actually supposed to be enjoying, no, but you know, work says no. He can't be chilling when I'm here, so you have to be here. Yes. So if not for work, what would you be doing today?
Okay, so if not for work, probably I would be part of the church where we will be having games, different kinds of games. It is a day where different, let's say Presby for instance, we have different types of Presby. So we have different types of Presby, and they come together to celebrate that day. We would have different kinds of games, sports, food, and many more. So basically it's all about chilling.
It's all about chilling.
Yeah.
If you are not chilling, then you are not chilling. Right. Let's have Debbie's girl.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. The Minister for Government Communications, Felix Kwachio-Fosu, has announced the arrival of new fleet of buses aimed at reducing ongoing road transport difficulties across the country. In a Facebook post, the minister addressed the situation and outlined steps being taken to improve public transport. He said government had begun receiving buses as part of a broader plan to expand capacity and ease pressure on commuters. 100 to 29-seater buses have arrived in the country to ease recent road transport challenges, he stated. Somewhere around September last year, the Minister of Transport, Bukari Nikpi, has announced that the government is in talking terms with authorities in other countries where they can purchase buses into the country. And this is mainly because, I mean, we all know there was a time where getting vehicles to your destination became a challenge. And it's not as if it is solved. We are still facing it. So they made mention that we'll be receiving 300 buses, but it will come in trenches, which means we will get the first the first tranche, which will be 100 buses. I mean, the second time the buses will come, and then the last round, which will get the final buses of 100. So as it stands now, the country, Ghana has received 100 transit buses, which is going to help, ease the challenges when it comes to you accessing a vehicle to your destination, whether to work or wherever you want to go. Now, it is good, but I've received a lot of messages and all that, but this is what I want to ask. How well are we going to maintain these buses? And I feel like we should first of all look at the population of the country. Ghana is small. 300 buses or 500 buses will not be enough. If we can get more of the buses, that will help. And I feel like so long as we are going in for this transit buses, more or less, or unlike the Metro Mass bus, which also gets like this private vehicles, the government can as well acquire private vehicles, like the normal vehicles that they are using for church or here. The more reason why I'm saying this is because these vehicles, has the tendency of having its way or moving to places where this metro bus cannot go. Because I believe every bus and how it's being structured. We have buses that do not go on long journey. That is how the bus is being structured. We have buses that go on long journey. So when we take this Metro Mass buses, they are vehicles that need to be on good road, a well-constructed road. Let me put it that way. But you and I know that our roads are not well. It's not that good. And so why not we get, if you are importing or getting in 500 buses and we now have 100 buses, then I feel like we should also get like 500 private vehicles, of which we know that these vehicles can go into corners regardless. So we don't rely so much on these transit buses because we know that there are places they cannot maneuver their way through. And then how well are we going to maintain these buses? There have to be strict monitoring and supervision. These buses needs to be used properly. It should be properly checked. It shouldn't be something that we've experienced before. Because I can remember that when we first brought in the Metro Mass Transit buses, there were instances where it had issues and all that. And then at the end of it, we realized that some parts of the buses were even sold out because they felt that the bus is not good enough. It wouldn't be used again. But these are buses that can be repaired. It can be used. When you go to Accra right now, you see a lot of Metro Mass buses that are left to rot because it's no longer in use. So please, if we are importing buses into this country to help ease the challenges of you getting a vehicle to wherever you want to go, then its maintenance should be taken so seriously. As I said, there should be strict supervision and monitoring on these buses. And please, to the Transport Minister, this is a slight advice. 500 transit buses, 500 private vehicles like the Sprinter buses we have all over. This will help us. Those vehicles maneuver their way into corners where Metro Mass will not go. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Mr. B, for that girl. And thank you, too, for joining us on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly. And right after the news, we'll be back with the second segment. Please, you can stay with us.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the morning news update on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, 100 new buses arrive to ease transport challenges. Government to upgrade senior high schools in Savannah region. Also coming up, Dabai resident raise alarm over overstretched health center in the region. Western Regional Minister cautioned illegal miners over destruction of rubber plantation. These and many more coming up here shortly in business, sports and showbiz. Minister of State in charge of government communications, Felix Kwachi Owusu, has announced that 100 new 29-seater buses have arrived in the country as part of effort to ease recent public transport challenges. In a Facebook post, it said the buses form part of a total of 300 procured by government to improve transport services and reduce pressure on commuters. The development follows recent vehicle shortages in parts of the country, which left commuters stranded at transport terminals and bus stops. Government has previously said it is working to resolve the situation, with the Vice President Jenano Poku Ajimine indicating that steps are being taken to address the disruptions affecting daily commuters. The new buses are expected to provide immediate relief, while additional batches scheduled for August and November aimed at further strengthening public transport capacity nationwide. In other news, President John Dramani Mahama has assured residents of the Savannah region of accelerated infrastructure development to drive growth and improve livelihoods. The president gave the assurance at the 50th anniversary celebration of the Goja Land Association in Boape on Sunday, April 5th, where he was a special guest of honor under the theme 5 Decades of Progress, Empowering Goja Land Youth for the Future. President Mahama announced plans to establish STEM schools in Tinga and upgrade all senior high schools in the region to Category A status. He also directed Member of Parliament for Yape, Dr. John Abdullahi Chinapo, to provide a bus for Boape Senior High School, following an appeal by the Paramount Chief of Boape, Abdullahi Chinapo II. The President further reaffirmed plans to construct a sports stadium in Damongo to be named the Savannah Sports Stadium and promoting sports development in the region. The Paramount Chief of the Boape Traditional Area and Vice President of the National House of Chiefs, Boape Ura Abdullahi Chinapo II, called on government to intensify effort in curbing illegal mining activities along the Black Volta. He pledged the traditional authorities' commitment to safeguarding the environment and preserving the ancestral heritage. He also appealed for support in constructing the Mpefa Junction to Debre Road, which is currently under procurement. The national president of the Goja Land Youth Association, Al-Hassan Baba Darison, urged government to create more districts and upgrade existing ones to municipal status in accelerating development in the area. To the Oti region, residents of Dambai and its surrounding communities have raised concern over mounting pressure on local health centers, citing inadequate infrastructure and staffing. Health workers warn that the situation is affecting service delivery. For many residents, accessing health care has become increasingly difficult, with long waiting times and frequent referrals to facilities far from home. What should be a straightforward visit to a nearby health facility often turns into a race against time, as limited infrastructure and staffing gaps continue to constrain the Dambai Health Center's ability to deliver critical services. The growing population and increasing demand for care have outpaced the center's capacity, exposing deep cracks in a system that may depend on as their first points of call. The absence of critical support systems such as recovery rooms and adequate diagnostic services further complicates healthcare delivery, leaving staff to improvise under challenging conditions. Medical Superintendent at the Dambai Health Center, Dr. Ato Thompson, indicated that the facility requires more support to effectively manage cases. He noted the absence of a recovery room in the theater, which is essential for monitoring patients after surgery. A senior biomedical scientist, Francis Dosey, also highlighted the need for expanded infrastructure to improve service delivery in the region. He stressed that the lack of some essential services continues to put the facility at a disadvantage. The situation is particularly dire at the maternity unit, where shortage of beds has forced expectant mothers to seek care elsewhere. Head of Administration at the Dambai Health Center, John Terry Mensah, says the need for a comprehensive infrastructure upgrade to meet the increasing demand of healthcare service is very significant. He also reiterated the urgent need for additional staff to effectively manage cases, calling on government and relevant agencies to step in and address the challenges. In other news, the Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has issued a strong warning to individuals engaged in galamsey activities on rubber plantations in the region. The caution follows a joint visit by the Western Regional Security Council and the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat to assess the impact of galamsey on rubber plantations. In a Facebook post, Mr. Nelson said the visit was prompted by a series of complaints from the management of Ghana Rubber Estate Limited over the extensive damage caused by illegal miners. He cautioned against illegal mining in water bodies and forest reserves, stressing that offenders will be dealt with in accordance with the law. The National Disaster Management Organization has cautioned residents of Adenta Lakeside to desist from dumping refuse into drains to prevent flooding. The government warning follows localized flooding in communities such as Nyamikrom and Room 6 after about 30 minutes of rainfall on April 2nd, raising concerns about drainage capacity ahead of the peak raining season. The Adenta Municipal Director of NADMO, Eriko Fipadi, said choke gutters are restricting the free flow of water and increasing the risk of flooding. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Adenta, Mohammed Ramadan, has affirmed steps to address the situation. In business, government is being urged to prioritize exchange rate stability over tax cut as the more effective lever for containing rising fuel prices. The call comes amid renewed pressure on petroleum prices, with concerns that policy responses focus on taxes may deliver only limited relief if currency volatility persists. Analysts argue that Ghana's heavy reliance on imported fuel makes the cedi's performance the most critical factor in pump price adjustment, amplifying the impact of exchange rate swings on consumers and businesses. In an interview, Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy stressed that stabilizing the foreign exchange regime will have a more sustained impact on fuel prices than tax reductions. His comment follows President Mohammed's directive for an emergency cabinet to address the recent surge in fuel prices. At the start of April, fuel prices have went up at the pumps, reflecting volatility in international crude oil markets. Data from the National Petroleum Authority shows that petroleum prices climbed by about 12 to 15% to 13.30 per litre, while diesel recorded an even steeper increase of roughly 19% to 70.10 Ghana cedis per litre for the April 1st to 15th pricing window. The surge has raised concern about knocked-on effects on transport fares, food prices, and the general cost of living. Despite the pressure, President Mahama, speaking at the Kwewu Business Forum on Saturday, sought to reassure the public that the broader economy remains resilient. Also in business, the government for the third week running failed to meet its treasury bill target of 4.63 Ghana cedis, according to the auction result by the Bank of Ghana. The government recorded 32.19% under subscription of its auction target, higher than the previous week. Also government got 3.16 billion as against a target of 4.63 billion. The most subscribed bill was the 91-day bill, as 2.2 billion of the bids were tendered, representing 63.8% of the total bids. However, the uptake was 1.99 billion Ghana cedis. The 364-day bill recorded bids of about 648 million. The uptake was 416.93 million Ghana cedis. For the 182-day bill, 498.9 million Ghana cedis of the bids were tendered. The bids accepted were 416.9 million. Meanwhile, interest rates continue to increase again on the yield curve. The yield on 91-day bill remained relatively unchanged at 4.81%. That of 182-day bill also went up to 6.71 from the previous weeks of 6.62%. To sports, Heart of Oak reignited their title push with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Young Apostles at the Accra Sports Stadium, bringing an end to a 5-game winless streak in the Ghana Premier League. The Phobians approached the game with urgency and discipline, determined to return to winning ways. Claude Botte nearly stunned the home side inside a 3-minute, but his header from a corner was brilliantly cleared off the line by Kelvin Osei Asibi. Hearts gradually settled into the contest and found their breakthrough 8th minute before half-time. Frank Duku finished off a well-worked move, converting after a long ball from goalkeeper Solomon Agbesi was controlled and laid into his path by Mauli Wayo. Duku's strike ultimately provided decisive and marked a personal milestone as he scored back-to-back matches for the first time since joining Heart of Oak from Vision FC. The dramatic moment came deep into stoppage when Agbesi sustained an injury while tipping another Boubacar strike over the bar. He was subsequently stretched off and transported by an ambulance. Head coach Didi Dramani later confirmed the goalkeeper suffered a concussion but was in a stable condition in the post-match interview. The victory lifts Heart of Oak to third place on the league table with 46 points, just 5 behind leaders Bibiani Gold Stars. Young Apostles, meanwhile, slipped deeper into relegation trouble, now sitting 16 with 33 points. In showbiz, Ghanaian musician Black Sherif has commented on the ongoing debate surrounding the Artist of the Year category at the 2026 Telecel Ghana Music Awards, expressing concern over the apparent exclusion of Wendy Shea from key conversations. In an interview, Black Sherif noted that Wendy Shea's effort and impact in 2025 have not been adequately recognized. His comment added a new layer to the already heated discussions among fans and industry players as debates continue over who truly deserves the top honor this year's award. and 2025, when the show maintains strong visibility with a steady stream of release, notable collaborations and consistent performances across major stages. Her ability to stay relevant, coupled with impressive streaming numbers and fan engagement, is why some fans argue she has a solid case for the top prize, despite not being widely mentioned often in mainstream conversations. On some global updates, government ministers in Senegal have been banned from all non-essential foreign travels following the rise in oil prices resulting from the conflict in Iran, the Prime Minister has announced. Speaking at a youth rally on Friday, Osman Sonko said the current price of a barrel of oil was approaching double what had been budgeted. Sonko has postponed his own trips to Niger, Spain and France as part of the restrictions. He said that ministers of mine would announce further measures to curb government spending in the coming week. Senegal's move is the latest response from the continent to the rise in oil prices, which has seen countries reduce fuel levies and ration electricity. In his speech to young people, the Prime Minister said he did not want to frighten his audience. Instead, he wanted to give them a sense of this world, which is a difficult word, but added that though things were hard, the Senegalese were resilient. Despite a fledgling oil and gas industry, Senegal relies heavily on importing fuel. Last year, the International Monetary Fund described the economy as robust with growth rate of almost 8% and low inflation, but its public debt standing more than 130% of the total annual size of the economy. Sonko, installed as Prime Minister 2 years ago, blamed the previous government for saddling his administration with debt, which he said had made the current situation of dealing with oil prices even more difficult. Elsewhere on the continent this week, South Africa's government responded to rising oil prices by reducing the tax it charges on petrol, an effort to limit the increase in fuel costs at the pumps. Fuel shortages in Ethiopia have forced some government institutions to send employees on annual leave. South Sudan has started to ration electricity in its capital, Juba, while Zimbabwe is increasing ethanol content in its petrol. The effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf as a result of the United States-Israeli war on Iran has also led to a restriction of the supply of fertilizer to the rest of the world. An estimated 30% of this essential farming input goes through the Gulf. Humanitarian organization, the International Rescue Committee, warned that this was a full security time bomb, particularly for East Africa, which relies on fertilizer import from the Middle East. And that's a wrap on the morning news update. Do all to log on to all streaming platforms for more news stories. I am Deborah Adosu. Thank you for sticking tuned to your radio. Good morning.
Ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning to you, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is the second segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, and as you know it, we come along with knowledgeable guests who are going to delve into the main topic for discussion. We come along with people with head, brain, who are going to share their informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. And as usual, as you know it, we are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do well to log on and send in your comment. Let's get interactive. Right. Sitting right here in the studios with me is Mr. Emmanuel Chambers, the NPP communications team member, and also Mr. Dubik Ganib Stephen, who is a social commentator. I nearly said NDC communicator. Forgive me.
You wanted to join them, right?
No. They actually the people actually work with a lot. NPP and then the NDC. Am I lying? Exactly.
I thought you wanted to join them.
Join them. Who are they?
Do you know that any MPP communicator I've met here says I'm an ND?
No,
for the NDC.
you are indirectly trying to attack me. I know. I've said this somewhere.
You guys have started too early.
You see?
You have started too early.
Today he said he was not well, so today.
Oh no, don't worry.
We are not going to do it giddy like that.
Let's go. I love it doing it like that.
You love it.
I love it hard.
But I heard you are not well.
Yeah, but
I want to go hard.
I don't have problem with that.
Hey,
I can manage the
we don't have ambulance here.
Situational communicators, don't worry.
We beg you.
So, whichever category you want to put me, if you want to call me a communication member of the NDC, that's fine, but I don't speak for the NDC.
Oh.
You don't speak for the NDC. Please.
Why is I forced you here? I've been here with you and Prince Kuma. I forced you to accept it.
He said he doesn't speak for the
NDC.
Well,
he speaks as a social commentator.
A social commentator.
Someone who has the issues of the country at heart.
If I want to disagree with the government, I will. If there's times that I feel that I align with the policy direction of the government too, I'll say it.
Who say it?
There are times that I disagree with the government here. Remember the bill that the speaker proposed that he should take care of the
Is it
health
an
issues.
emergency?
Yeah. I disagreed with him, and I said it right here.
But for them, they want you to always disagree.
No.
They also want you to always find fault with the government.
Just because I'm independent.
For me, I've attacked you twice for you to go and officially announce yourself as an NDC communicator. Because there were certain issues, and if I watch your position and what you were saying about it, come on. I was busy repeating the words of the NDC and you were telling me no, it's not true. When I know it was true. Hey, Charlie.
Okay, so do you see Kofi Bentil as MPP person?
You see, on some clear instances, you know this one there, I have nothing to say. Let me go for the government. That's what you've been doing. But anyway, I don't want to start on this note.
You've already started.
So
just
I just asked you,
continue.
do you see Kofi Bentil as an MPP person?
Oh, what did I do? It was just a slip of the. I nearly slipped my tongue.
And so we needed the audience to know that it was a slip of tongue.
But I didn't even say it.
So-
I was
so-
like, I was about to say the NDC.
Bro, I just asked you, do you see Kofi Bentil as an MPP person
You
or
see-
independent person?
He's an independent person.
You see, for Kofi Bentil, he's an independent person.
Why? How does he communicate?
You've never watched Kofi Bentil before?
Oh no, but he gives punches when he's supposed to. And at the end of the day,
See?
he comes to resolutions. That is one thing.
Kofi Bentil sat on TV years ago and said that I'm not attacking his personality.
Alright.
This is just by the way.
By the way.
He said that people don't care whether contracts are inflated or not. What they care about is the road being fixed.
I think I heard that.
You heard that?
Yeah.
That was during MPP's time.
Yeah,
And today he's saying something different. You see, what I like is that in as much as you disagree or agree with government, have a principled stance. So what I say today, because NDC is in government, I should be able to repeat the same thing and not change my stance when NPP is in government.
Oh, wow.
That's the most important thing that we all should look. We should look at. You understand? Not how or what I say today. Posterity will judge what I'm saying today, whether I'm principled or a hypocrite. And I know that when time comes for posterity to judge me, it will judge me to be somebody principled.
He has said his own.
I know, he has said this one. I don't have to say anything.
He has said his own. Right, today is a holiday. Happy Easter, by the way.
Happy Easter to you too.
Happy Easter.
Why are you not in Kwewu? Because I know Kwewu is actually a hot spot for, Easter activities and Easter holiday. Why? What happened?
She asked us so.
Why?
I think you should attend to it first.
Okay, so for me personally, you won't see me outside. I'm not an outdoor person. Once I come to this studio and I leave, that is it. I don't know. It's few people who can say they know me here and see me outside, or know me in private life. Once this radio show ends, it ends. I'm gone. This is the only public space you see me.
Wait.
I don't do public stuff. And
Red flag.
I have to have a purpose
Okay.
to go to call.
To go to
The fun alone is not enough to take me to call.
So you don't want to have fun?
No, I want to have fun, but I have ways of having my own fun.
Reading, I guess.
Wait. And sometimes watching documentaries and all that, researching.
That's a way of having fun.
Yes, to me.
Right, for you.
Yes, so you can ask Chambers what he does.
Well, the day is still young. We never can tell what happened.
You are not
as a
well,
Catholic.
so right after here, I'll advise you go home.
I'll try. See, I love having fun sometimes, especially.
It's good to have fun.
Yeah, especially with people I'm close to.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing is that today I'm really not feeling well, and being a Catholic, I think somewhere along the line, maybe in the evening, I will have to join them. You know, it's you see, fun also provides psychologically. It provides some kind of treatment to our sickness. So it's good to have fun, and I love being around people I love and all that. So soon I'll join them. Yeah, I'll soon go out.
You soon go
I'll
out.
go out.
Right. Before we dive into the main topic for discussion, I think this news actually came somewhere last week. BEC candidates to choose schools after results and the new system. The government has announced a major change to the school placement process, with candidates of the Basic Education Certificate Examination now expected to select their preferred senior high schools only after the release of their results. The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, said the policy forms part of efforts to improve the school selection and placement system and ensure students make more informed choices. Addressing the media, he explained that candidates will be given a 1-week window after the release of results to make sure that they make the right choices. According to him, the previous system required students to choose schools without knowing their academic performance, a situation that often affected placement outcomes. The minister expressed confidence that the new approach would enhance fairness, reduce placement challenges, and improve overall efficiency in the admission process into senior high schools. Looking at this new initiative they've actually brought on board to allow students to make their selections after they're writing their BEC, and the reason they gave was for them to see the academic performance before they choose the school of their choice. And this is said to reduce the pressure and also the challenges when it comes to school selection. Do you actually see this policy, reducing this whole pressure? Is that a week?
Yeah, well, I don't know what went into that policy decision. I have not researched into these things, but on the face of it, you can deduce that they are trying to make sure that they sieve or cut off student who doesn't qualify to enter the SHS.
When you mean cut off, as in they are not going to school at all?
They have to rewrite.
They have to rewrite.
So if you had 54 and you choose Prempe, choose what do you call it?
At this school.
At this school, the big schools. How does your grade take you there?
Is at this school as well? Okay, at this other college.
At this other,
Yeah, so
at
at this
Chimota and
school.
Co.
Yes.
So I think that is what the aim is. But I've always had a problem, not in relation with this policy. Let's put that aside.
Right.
I've always had a problem with politicians always touching our educational setup, it doesn't help. It has not helped us.
So that shouldn't be politicized or
of course
meddle with politics.
If the view is to make it better, then I think we should have a broader engagement. Education is something that I think that before a policy is implemented, they should bring all the political parties onto the table and have a discussion. Let everybody bring their view, put it together, then it will be binding on every political party regardless of when they come to power and what they decide to do. Because we all put our heads together and got this policy out. How will you then come and decide not to pursue it? President Kufuor started SHS 4 years. Then Atamils came and then brought it back to 3 years.
To 3 years, yes.
And it has always been like that. This political party will come and do this. The following political party will also come and do that.
Come and do their thing.
So I think that in as much as I don't know what went into these policies, I hope that they've done broader consultations, engaged the right people, and they've come to the conclusion that this is what is good for the educational sector. Because if we mess up our educational sector, if we politicize it, a day will come that my company that I'm building, if I employ people, I'll employ substandard people, and they are not going to give me the output I need. So we all have to be mindful of that. And it's not just companies. It means even the health workers that we are going to produce, they're going to be substandards, and your life is in the hands of the health workers when you go to the hospital. So education is something that we don't have to toy with. So if they have done broader consultations on this and then have come to the realization that this is what is good for the educational sector, then we go.
But do you think indeed it's going to reduce the pressure when it comes to the system?
To some extent it will. You know, sometimes people choose schools that their grades don't get them into.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have aggregate 30 and you yourself, you know that it cannot take me to Achimota, it cannot take me to Presec, it cannot take me to Prempeh, it cannot take me to Yasantua, then you go find yourself or Chemberia secondary school and you go into, you get it. In as much as we all preach that we should try and bridge the gaps between our secondary schools when it comes to standards, we cannot kid ourselves and think that the standards will ever be the same. You get it? Even if they have equal access to facilities, there are going to be headmasters who will be so competent that they will manage their schools in certain ways that will still make their schools better than other schools, even though they have the same structures or the same setup. So there's always going to be standards. We cannot run away from that. There are going to be class A schools, class B schools, class C schools. That one we cannot change, regardless of how equipped these schools are. So your grades should get you there. So if you are saying that know your grade before you choose the school, that means that you know your grade, you know the schools your grade can take you, and the ones your grade cannot take you. So you won't have to choose. Then you don't get. Then you assemble at a place trying to do placement, reposting, and all that. So I think that to certain level, to some extent, it's going to reduce the pressure.
It's going to reduce the pressure. Your thoughts, Mr. Chambers?
Well, first of all, what is the aim of these reforms? That's one thing we should be looking at. If their intention is to reduce the pressure, I think no doubt about it at all that there's pressure on the placement system. We actually have a lot of issues that a student going into the BEC will have to choose about 6 schools. And all the schools are categorized from A to whatever. And some students, of course, they are limited not to choose certain schools. But waiting for the results to be released before going for your placements, I don't think it's a bad idea. But I was just looking at it from this angle, how is that going to be different from what we already have if our intention is to keep the pressure? You see, if the results will be published, then within 2 weeks or a week,
they will be given just 1 week window to make the selection. Is that even enough?
Wouldn't there be rush on some students? We understand that sometimes they can publish students' results and it will take a week, and some will not even access their results. But I feel like whatever it is, there's going to be more pressure. That pressure is not going to be controlled. Why? Because the system is going to be in a way that you have very limited days to attend to the students that have taken the BEC exams. Unlike previous ones where right after the exams they are required to submit their placements. Then after marking the scheme, after marking the scripts, you know that by the end of this month the results will be published, and as soon as the results is published, they look into the placement system, then they publish the placement systems, and students are required to go to school as soon as possible. But I see that this particular reform is going to delay the going to school. I mean, whatever it is, it means you have to come submit your placements, the school of choice. They will not look into the school of choice. Then the system will pick you, throw you wherever you want to go. You see, we are human, and in all of this, we are going to deal with human beings. Whether we like it or not, there's going to be some kind of delays, or some students might not meet the requirements. You understand? So, in as much as this is a very good call, but I see to it that it might delay the placement system.
It might delay the placement system. So in your opinion, you think even with this policy the pressure is still going to be there?
There will be pressure.
That's what pressure. Yes. So they should come back. But how can we sort out this whole pressure thing?
I think
is there something that the government can actually fall on?
To me, I believe that the government should look at the old one. They should look at the best way to
the old one, which is
the already existent reform. Then, if there are some adjustment they can do, they should do to it rather than coming out with the new reform to push away. I understand the pressure came as a result of this free senior high school. That when students, even when sometimes you have aggregates 30 or whatever, you are sent to school, you have to also go some. That is you have to go some. Yes, that's where the pressure came. If you recall, some years back, if you have something above 30, you were not supposed to go to school. But this particular one,
even 25,
you were not required to go to school. But you see, this time around, whatever, just take your exams. The next moment you are found in the senior high schools. Yes. And now, one thing I've observed is that even with the grade A schools like Chimota, where those schools were seen as best now, people go there with aggregate 30 and all that. I tell you, it's the placement system.
Oh, yes.
That is it.
Yes. Even the A schools.
The A schools.
They're even accepting 30.
And there's that kind of influence that, my ward is placed here, I can go for self-replacement or whatever they call it. Self-placement or replacement. Then you are thrown to a school of your choice. What is the difference here? And so I think, like my brother said, education, we don't have to tamper with it anyhow. It should be something that we have to have it very standard, that whatever reforms is going to mold the students into the people or into the kind of personality we are looking for in people.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Mr. Chambers. Right. So, BEC candidates, those getting ready to write their BEC, know that now the system has changed. You finish writing your BEC, you get your results before you do the selection. That is the new approach we are going now. And you'll be given a 1 week duration to actually do that selection. Well, let's see if it's going to sort out what they claim it's supposed to sort out. Right, at this juncture, we are going to be delving into the main topic for discussion. Our first topic has to do with 4 price increases. So 4 prices in Ghana continue to rise, driven partly by escalation tensions in the Middle East affecting global oil supply. But here at home, the GPRT are crying that 4 taxes should be reduced, or even then the 1 cedi levy should be scrapped entirely. And this has actually been a burden and a rising concern over the growing burden on drivers and commuters. They are calling on government to scrap the 1 cedi fuel levy, arguing that while global factors can't be controlled, reducing taxes could offer immediate relief to Ghanaians. So this morning, that is actually what we were looking into. Should fuel taxes be reduced to ease the pressure? But first off, let's ask, why are we seeing an increase in our fuel prices, Mr. Dubik?
I think the reasons are obvious. Yes. I think the reasons are obvious. And I wouldn't just jump to state the obvious reasons. Let's situate the conversation in a proper context. I know my brother won't like this. I know he won't like it.
And don't pull me inside.
I know he won't like it.
But come from a very different angle. So
okay. I know he won't like it. No, but I'll let me situate it.
Whatever it is,
the conversation
in your mind.
The conversation is the proper
public interest.
In the proper context. You see, Ghana as a country, we import finished petroleum product.
Finished.
We do it with a blend, but the most one that we import are finished. They are the one already distilled. I mean, when we say refine in energy terms mean distilled. So 1st to 15th November 2024, the world market price for a metric ton of diesel was $666.38. You can start writing them down.
For me or him?
Yes, you. He said I shouldn't bring him in, so you can start writing them down.
Oh, I don't have problem.
And on the 16th to 30th November the same year, the world market price of a metric ton was $666. On 4th December 2024, a liter of diesel was going for, at that time, a liter of fuel was going for 15.8 cedis in Ghana. So at $666 per metric ton, we were selling a liter of diesel for 15 cedis. Remember, that is when, after the elections, Dr. Baumia said he was shocked that fuel was increased 3 days to elections. Do you remember? Okay. So, 4th December 2024, at that time that fuel was 15 cedis per liter, we were selling the metric ton of diesel for $667. Okay. So now before the Iranian war, let's check the prices. I've said the pre-war, and I'm saying before, and then we'll go into
what you mentioned is actually in 2024.
Yes.
And the war was still ongoing.
No, I'm talking about the Iranian conflict.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Ukraine. No.
All right.
I'm talking about the Iranian conflict.
So
don't get those conflicts.
Which month are you referring to?
All that I'm referring to is 15th November. 4th December.
Okay, so when was the war you were mentioning? Which month do you want us to check with regards to
the Ukrainian war? No, I'm not talking about the Iranian war. The Iranian war started last month.
Last month, okay. So we are not in 2025.
We are in 2026. So I'm laying a premise for my conversation. I don't normally do this, but I wait and see the premise I make. When I get there, you understand. Okay. Before the war, the fuel prices rise to 695, higher than the one in 2024. This is 2025 that we are talking about. It then moved to $700 per metric ton, even before the war.
Even before the war.
At that time, fuel had gone down up to below 10 cedis. Am I lying? These are facts.
That was when it was selling for 9 cedis.
No, yeah, when fuel, the metric ton was $700. Fuel had reduced to 10 cedis. I'm comparing something. I'm doing something.
Which fuel has been? Which pump station are you talking about? Because it's which year? I mean, the 9 cities you are talking about. Which year is that?
I said below 10 cedis.
Below 10 cities could be 9 or 8, right?
It was 9.9.
9.9. You mentioned 9.
So are you saying that?
so
No,
no,
are you saying that you didn't hear that fuel was below 10 cedis in Ghana?
I always buy fuel each day.
Okay, so Esinam, do me a favor. Just ask Google, when was fuel selling for 9.99 in Ghana? Just ask Google.
This is just a preliminary statement you are making. Right?
Just ask Google. You will get there. Abi, we have time. 8:50. You can talk as long as you want.
I'm coming.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Jesus Christ.
So, fuel at that time was $700 per metric ton. A liter for that at that time was selling around 10 cedis and below 10 cedis. These are facts. You cannot argue. Today, in the middle of the war, a metric ton of fuel has gone to 1,425.27. 1,425.27. That is the price of a metric ton of fuel right now. It is not just that. In dollars, it's not just that. They have something called the supplies premium. Before the war, it was $20. It was $20. These monies are charged for the freight, logistics, what do you call it, insurance and things. Now it has gone to $200. It has gone up to $200, and all these factors goes into the pricing of the fuel locally. That's the point I'm trying to build. So just add $200 plus 1,425. How much do you get? You get $1,625. The fuel that we were buying at $660 per barrel has now gone up to 4,625 plus the supplies premium. The time that we were buying fuel around what do you call it, $690 per barrel in 2022. At that time, we bought fuel in this country for 23 cedis per liter.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Which I think this is something I have to do my research on, because
I can help you.
You should have told me to come with a calculator, because
I can help you.
But your phone has a calculator.
I can help you.
No, but a standard, the calculations is doing. I need some kind of long divisions and all that. If not, whatever he's doing, to be honest, he has confused me.
So let's get to.
You said which year was 423? Well,
2022.
Okay.
Right.
1st November. 1st November 2022. I just found it. 1st November 2022. You see it. It was 23.49. Are you getting the same figure?
No, I'm not getting the same figure.
You won't get it.
You're
not setting it well.
I'm not getting the same figure. Something is giving me a 16. I don't know the source.
16 cedis.
Yes, 17, 16, depending on the pump station.
Okay.
And so I'm not getting it.
Okay. Just don't worry. I can deviate and give him a proof. You get
yeah,
it?
You can go on whilst I'm still doing my search. When I get it, I will tell you.
Okay, so with all this, it tells you that we were somewhere when the price was lower, and now we are somewhere when the prices are higher. I'm just saying these things so you know that the price then It's not the price now. Because of the rise in fuel prices, because of the Iranian war. This is the reason why the fuel prices have gone up. Granted that, compare this, if we had exchange rate to be around 17 cedis, how much would you have been buying fuel now? In excess of 30 cedis. But because the exchange rate is relatively lower, even though the price of fuel on the world market has doubled, the prices in Ghana hasn't doubled. I hope you get my point now.
Yeah.
You get why I was giving you the figures now. Let's talk about ESLA. ESLA had a component, the original bill of ESLA had a component called the Price Stabilization Fund. It was supposed to be like a cushion to take care of us in times like this.
In times like this.
In times where there are emergencies, a lot is going on, and then fuel prices had gone up. This was a time that the stabilization fund out of the ESLA could have helped us. But we collateralized it, took a loan with it, made sure we tied our hands not to have access to that funds. So now we don't have a safety net. Whatever goes on there, governments don't have the funds to subsidize the fuel prices because we collateralize it, and also did DEP on top. The people who bought the ESLA bonds, by the virtue of establishing the ESLA PLC, we are not paying them again because we said we are doing DDEP and we're going to pay them in 2030 or something. You understand? So that money is not there for us to do what? To use to subsidize the fuel prices that is going on at the pumps. Now I hear people say, remove the fuel levy, remove this levy, do this, do that, do that. I get their point. But one thing that is facts, everything that I've said here are facts. I'm not making them up. One thing that is also fact is that we all know the energy sector debt, don't we?
We do.
We know them, and nobody has contested that there are no debt. If there are debt, how do we then pay? Do we sacrifice the 1 cedi and keep on compiling the debt, or we pay the 1 cedi even though times are hard and make sure that we sort out our debt? Just by the way, what the bills credit for you can? Now say, oh, and the music extra. Me mkotua. Nom de wom tu wom kan about fi why asa. Panazo man ko buma bibi. So it is important that we don't scrap it now. I'm not saying we shouldn't scrap the 1 cedi levy at all. We should at a point if it keeps rising. But for now, fuel has not gone past sometimes that we weren't even paying the D levy. There are times that we weren't paying the D levy. We bought fuel for 23 cedis per liter. We bought it 17 cedis per liter. We bought it 16 cedis per liter. We've not gotten there yet. You get it? So we can try. I'm not saying paying levies and taxes are not easy. It's not pleasant to anybody. But you look at the circumstances at which we are asked to be paid the levy. This levy has a purpose. Unlike some levies and we've seen in the past which didn't have reasons or purposes. Everything was that levy. Everything, every problem in this Ghana would have been solved by that levy. So unemployment, that levy will help us. Roads, if you don't give us that levy, we cannot fix your roads. Schools, if you don't give us that levy, we cannot build schools. Today, the levy, they are saying that it's going to help us pay our energy sector levy, pay our energy sector debt, and keep our lights on. So I think
is it doing that?
Isn't it?
How? You are overcharging do you know the current rate of electricity tariffs? Hey, social communicator, please, you have to face the reality. Electricity tariffs, and you are saying what? Hey, bro. No, don't go that way.
Mr. Chambers.
Do you remember when a minister in your own administration came out to say that Ghanaians are saying times are hard because our taste has gone up? Do you remember that? Did you ever hear it?
Because our what?
Our taste.
Taste.
Was this a winning card about pizza? That's what your minister said.
Which minister is that?
I'll find his name and tell you. I think he's one of the Ashanti
I think you
MPs.
should tender in there because I know MPP has genuine people and they don't pass on kind of uncultured comments like some people. So.
Hey,
Okay.
the one that Napo told us to do our own time. That one is not cultured.
So can I come in?
So I'll find it
No.
for him.
His time is
So the
not.
issues are germane. The issues are there for everybody to see. Unless you decide that I wouldn't see the issues. You get it? When they introduced e-levy, I didn't want to say it.
Say it.
Were we cool?
Oh, we were not cool.
Were we, at that time,
A lot
were
of
times
Ghanaians.
were times flexible
Or rosy.
or rosy? Were we lying like in jacuzzis and having things? But because you deem it necessary, that's why you introduced it. When you introduced the baller tax,
Yeah.
were we happy about it? Were our problems solved? Did we have everything that we needed?
But don't we have sanitation as well? Today, don't we have sanitation? How is that different from the board? So you are just uttering. Oh, go ahead.
So, if today, when we talk about this and you say prices had gone up, cost of living has always been high in this country. You get it? But just like that, when the previous administration, the first NDC administration decided to introduce VAT, people stood up against it. They told us the reasons why we needed VAT. Kume Prekon demonstration came out of VAT, came for VAT. Today, out of that, we have Get Fund. Do you know the number of schools Get Fund has built? When ESLA was introduced, this same you people said it was a nuisance tax, and you cancel it when you come. It had a sunset clause. The sunset clause was supposed to expire. The tax bill was supposed to expire in 2018. What did you do? You went to Parliament, then removed the sunset clause and made it an indefinite tax. Today, I don't want to do this. Today, it is okay to chastise the D-levy because it is not you who is collecting it. When we were paying e-levy, were Momo charges reduced? Did they say because we are paying e-levy, reduce Momo charges?
No, I don't think.
We were still paying the Momo charges and paying the D-levy. So if you think that there are issues, you see, when you people came in government in 2017, you kept mentioning PPP. Take or pay. Yeah, you kept mentioning take or pay, and President John Mahama has signed take or pay agreement. That's why the economy is constrained and blah blah blah. You made all these arguments. You found ways to solve those issues that confronted you at that time. So why won't you allow the person in power today to find ways to also to solve the issues that he's being confronted with? Why must everything be politicized? Why must everything be like, let me take advantage of this? And you see, if NDC leaves power today without paying the debt, if MPP comes, you have to find a way and pay the debt. Whether you like it or not. The debt is not NDC debt too. The debt is not John Mahama's debt. The debt is Ghana's debt. Whoever contracted the debt, whoever is in power, regardless of whether you contracted it, whether you were part of the people who contracted it or not, you have to pay. And how are you going to pay? I prefer to pay 1 cedi per liter today than leave it for it to compound interest to a generation that my children will have to pay 100 cedis per liter to pay that debt. So I think that the fuel prices are going up. Something should be done.
Something should be done.
And I think that what we are supposed to do should be a long-term thing. We should have a buffer that will last us a year.
A year?
Yes, it's possible. Why can't we? What is the use of the bust? What is the use of Tama Oil Refinery? We can build reservoirs there, reserves, where we will buy fuel when it is cheap, store them, and in case things like this start happening and we have issues, then we rely on it. But we are not doing that. We are talking about a levy being reduced. We are not even driving the conversation towards how to be sustainable, like in our energy or fuel consumption. How can we build a nation that can have the most that we have is 5 months fuel? Sometimes it's even 3 weeks. Sometimes even 3 weeks. How? Yeah. So if you don't have access to fuel and then you use the one you have for 3 weeks, that is it. You are done. You cannot build a nation like that. Right. We as speakers, we as communicators, we as social analysts, we as politicians should come together and drive the policy conversations toward toward the lines that will sustain us, and make sure that if Iran and Israel and America are fighting, if they fight for 1 full year and we don't even have fuel at all, we can rely on the fuel reserves that we have in this country to survive for a year. But we are not doing that. I think that is where the conversation should go.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dubik. Mr. Chambers, your thoughts on the increase in fuel prices?
Well, before I go to the main topic, I want him to understand that in as much as the MPP stood against VAT,
okay,
and later it was a benefit to the Ghanaians, the same way NDC also stood against the top tax, and today, even when they came to power, they expanded it. You see, he spoke on the issue of debt and all that. I always say this: when we come to talk of debt at all sectors, it's a long-standing structural problem
we have as a country.
The same gentleman today, the first gentleman of the land, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, was the president in 2012 to 2016. We saw what he did and the debt he has left. So please, as social communicators, you don't go on air to make statements and you don't make it look as if we have created a debt and that was wicked to Ghanaians. That is by the way. Today, we are told that the NDC government is increasing the fuel prices for us.
Is it a government?
John Dramani Mahama is increasing the fuel prices for us. You see, you've asked whether the NDC government is responsible for the increment in fuel prices. Obviously, yes. Yes. How do I go out to tell Ghanaians that the NDC is not responsible for the increment of fuel prices? We were in this country when the fuel prices went up. NDC leadership recruited their boys into the system to influence every Ghanaian child to understand that it was Nana Idudanko Akufo-Addo, the president then, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia that increased the fuel prices. Even when some of us were not interested in this message, they forced us to accept it. They forced the message on us. They called President Muhammad Nanadu names. A short, wicked man, short, dark, a whole lot of things. They even organized a press conference led by the NDC national communicator, Sami Jimfi, where he said that they are begging on the wicked man to reduce the fuel prices in the country. That was some of the ways they painted on social media. Today they are coming out to tell us that the increment of fuel prices now is because of the Middle East war. Who would accept that? NDC has no any moral right to pass that kind of comment when they have not properly apologize to Ghanaians. You see, we all know that fuel prices are not determined by John Dramani Mahama. The prices of crude is never determined by NDC government or John Dramani Mahama, but it is widely determined in the international markets.
So if that is determined by the national markets, why are you saying that the NDC is
very well? If they told us, they made us to believe that Russia-Ukraine war cannot affect our economy, and today they are making us to believe that the Middle East war is what we are going through, the increment of oil prices. You expect me to just accept it like that? They have made the ordinary Ghanaian to understand that exogenous factors cannot affect our fuel prices.
But if you say it as such, are you not rather misinforming the
people? I am not misinforming anybody. I am quoting the words of the NDC in opposition.
So and I will come to the topic. So because they did that,
because I want
you
to
also go ahead to also do same to them.
No, I just want to say this to anyone listening to us that NDC used lies in 2024 to win election. And when you use lies to win election, truth will expose you. I love the way the exogenous factors are exposing NDC today. Even though we are not too happy that as a country we need to go back and forth on fuel prices at all this, because it matters so much to us. But that is what the politicians are using to score political points. NDC used it so much to score political points in 2024. Any of the communicators should have said it. But His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, saying it and using Russia-Ukraine war to score political points was unfortunate. Was highly unfortunate. And that is no good for us. And I pray and hope that they learn their lessons. Now, we all know that fuel prices in this country are not determined by the government. When there's deregulations, I mean, it is also determined by the international prices. It is also determined by market drivers. I mean, depreciation in the CD can also account to this for the increments in the fuel prices. We all know. So as at 2024, the NDC guys should have told us the truth, because they know better. They know that the increment of fuel prices as then was not the fault of the president or the ex-Wall administration NPP. But they made us to believe that. So I believe that it's about time we be honest to the citizens of this country. It's about time the politicians put themselves in a perfect direction to be honest to us, so that we have an honest society. That has been my position. I will not, from the political party I comes from, NPP, I won't sit here to use fuel prices, the increment of fuel prices to score political points. I won't do that. Even if someone has told me to do that, I won't do it. Because I know it's not best for us as a country to go along with all these mischiefs, these kind of lies,
and misinform the people.
That is it. You see, I listened to the call from the GPRTU.
The GPRTU.
And I think it's a call as an NPP member I wouldn't have supported. But in 2024...
Why won't you support it?
I'm coming there. But in 2024, in the press conference of Sami Jifi, he told the GPRTU to increase the fuel prices because globally the NDC, the NPP government has succeeded in increasing the fuel prices. They said they should increase the transportation first, because the NPP has succeeded in increasing the fuel prices. That was what he said. But today, I think that is not the issue today. The issue is that I think the GPRTU told the president, if I listen to the president carefully, he said they are working around it.
So there's a hint that they are going to review the fuel taxes.
He said, the president said they are working around it, and it's quite a short time. They should have taken their time. But you see, they cannot also continue working, waiting, because the president is not acting enough. I sat here, I think I was here with Prince Kumar when I told them that the increment, the reduction in the fuel prices should not be taken for a pleasure. They should not always boast their chest and say that we have done so well. Therefore, we are going to load a tax, a D levy on the petroleum products. because it can go up, it can shoot up at any point in time. Once the world market is tempered, anything can happen to the fuel prices in the country. Today, I have been vindicated. And so, if the GPRTU is calling on the government to withdraw the D-levy or some of the taxes on the petroleum products, I think it's a nice call. For me, it's a nice call. Why? Because we are already paying much at the electricity tariffs. I mean, we are paying much at the energy sector. And the D-levy on it, if you are buying fuel, you will understand that the D-levy is really affecting a lot of people. And that is also affecting the common man on the streets. Why? Taking cars every day, picking motorbikes and all those things, they're all determined by the increment of the fuel prices and all that. So I believe that what the GPRTU is calling for is in the right direction. The government must put some initiatives in place to ensure that they reduce the burden on us.
On Ghanaians.
Yeah, so
right.
That's what.
Right, Mr. Dubi, the GPRTU is calling for the fuel levy, which is the 1 cedi levy, to be scrapped, and also other fuel taxes should also be reviewed and also be reduced. But looking at the 1 cedi levy that was introduced by this administration and scrapping it, would you say that it's justifiable for them to say that they should scrap it? And what other alternative is there for the government to, fall on if this levy is being scrapped? Because this levy, the intended purpose is to pay the debt we have in the energy sector.
You see, as I said, I agree with anybody that says we should reduce some taxes on our fuel. Mm-hmm. But the president also said that it is a situation they are monitoring. And I also made reference to what we used to buy them for without the D-levy and why we buy it now with the D-levy. Mm-hmm. So with that and the president's assurance at the back of my mind, I would beg the the GPRT people to take some time. Let's see how it.
Can you get closer to the microphone?
Let's see how it all unfolds. You get it? Let's see how it all unfolds, how the situation will go in the coming weeks or coming days. Then we can come to an agreeable point that there are certain levies that is supposed to go. It might not even be the D levy going. It might be other levies going and the D levy staying. You get it? The government must prioritize the levies on the fuel and see which one is of importance as of now, or which
the most important
one, and then leave and then scrap the ones that we can do without. We were in this country when fuel prices went up to 23 cedis.
I said this statement because there is what I have here.
Let him finish, please.
You see,
let him finish.
I mean, I just want to correct something.
You can write it down.
No, let him correct it.
All right.
No, correct it.
Yeah, the months you mentioned in 2022, I only saw diesel and that of the petrol. The petrol was at 17 cities and 16 cities. Please, so you quote your figures rightly. Unless otherwise you have evidence. And I don't know the source you are using because we have petrol and we have the diesel. So you don't make it sound as if once you say the fuel prices increased to 23 cities, you are talking of the petrol and that of the diesel, which the prices are not the same. Right. You are using the same source I'm using.
Are you saying that fuel never went? Any type of fuel never went to 23 cities? Or you are saying that I should differentiate between the kind of fuel that went to 23 cities?
You mentioned a month, that is November 2022. And looking at it, somewhere it was 16, somewhere it was 17. That's for the petrol.
So that was all you saw?
Yes.
When you did your search?
And crude, what is it? The diesel was 20, 22, 23. That was around there. So if you don't make
so you are agreeing that there's a type of fuel that went to 23 cities.
Listen,
are you agreeing?
I'm saying
or you are still disagreeing
if you want to speak, you don't create the impression in the minds of people as if we hijack the fuel prices to that level and all that. No. If you want us to make references, we can go back to 2016 where you will check the prices of diesel and all.
And diesel was 23 cedis.
You can. I said we can go back there. I mean, you were quoting a lot of figures.
You see, you didn't dispute any of the figures I quoted, did you?
You see, you were.
Esinam.
Yeah.
I gave you my phone.
So
Okay,
you
so-
can check.
No, I gave you a
In
phone.
November 2022.
So let's read what I have here.
Okay.
Petroleum consumers up in arms against government as diesel prices hit 23 Ghana cedis per
Diesel
liter,
prices.
and this is 1st November 2022.
Yes, that's diesel prices. And if you check the petrol, it wasn't there. The petrol was around 16, 17.
Petroleum consumers.
You check. You see, when you check, they give you the diesel price. Even currently, they have the diesel price and that of the petrol. You don't create the impression to be like everything, was bought at 23 cedis. No. I have it here. And he knows what I'm talking about.
Petrol and diesel are currently being sold at an average of 18 Ghana cedis and 23 Ghana cedis per liter from the previous prices of 15 and 19 Ghana cedis per liter respectively.
You see.
Okay, so that's the average.
Yeah.
Okay, let's establish one thing clear here. If I'm a truck driver, do I use petrol?
Oh, but that is
No. It's just a simple question I ask. If I'm a truck driver, what kind of fuel do I use?
What if I'm a motorbike rider?
You make your argument based on what affects you. Nah, lie. I'm making argument based on what I bought and how I felt.
That's so
You understand?
That's what I'm saying.
Do you
But
understand?
I
Do you
am
get
not-
it?
I am
no,
not entirely-
I cannot. You see, one thing that you people always find problems with, and I always have problems with you, is that you want people to communicate in a way that you prefer.
No,
people
no,
will communicate with
no,
their situation.
No, we don't want people to alter things and say like what people.
How am I altering things?
Okay.
I
it's
drew
different
your
sizes.
attention.
So
I drew your attention to something very
they-
important.
You see,
Please, please,
fuel. You
please,
see, I'm
please,
coming. I'm
please.
coming.
On the most serious note, I drew your attention. Me, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to allow you to talk.
Okay.
If I had wanted to challenge for time, when I was speaking, I would have challenged for time.
Okay.
You said something, and I said, when we come to talk of petroleum products, we have different components of petroleum products. We have the petrol and the diesel.
And the
So the
diesel.
price you are mentioning, that I agreed that was for the diesel. But you don't speak as if everything was around 23 cedis.
So would you accept it that diesel was sold at 20?
I never dispute that fact.
So I can use
Right.
diesel prices.
So
to do
when
my
you are
analysis.
mentioning, listen,
Yes.
when you use
No,
diesel,
so do I have to mention diesel was this, petrol
no,
was
no,
this, LPG was
unless-
this, kerosene was this,
Please,
jet fuel was
please,
this? I have to
please.
mention all of that.
please,
But there was
today,
still
today,
a product sold at
all
23.
right, all right.
Yes.
How much is the diesel price today?
Is it 23
Today,
cedis?
So
I'm coming.
So today fuel prices is at
I mean the diesel.
diesel.
Yes.
Diesel is now 17 cedis,
17
10,
cedis.
10 pesos.
But-
Okay, so are you done? Are you done giving him an answer? Tell me the metric, the price for a metric ton of diesel on the
There
word
is,
market. Metric
see,
ton.
you
I don't
see,
have it here.
whether-
I'll give it to you. I have it. I'll give it to you.
give it- One thing I want,
It is $1,425.
One thing I
at that
wanna-
time, no, at that time that day was it got to 23 cities. It was $695
you see,
per metric ton.
if you are handling petroleum products and you are going to speak on it and not creating some wrong impression in the minds of people, and you don't want people to talk about it, you should be specific.
No,
you
you
should-
see,
all
I've
along,
ceded my time for you to argue with me, oh. So I want you to talk about it. I want you to expose the lies that I'm telling. If they are lies,
Apparently,
I want you to expose. No, I want you to expose my lies.
Apparently, the whole show has been you. But
How has it been him?
You see, I drew
You are.
his attention to something very important. That is to say that even if diesel was bought at that price, petrol was not bought at that price. So you should be specific. I want clarifications. So what's the issue in this? I don't see any issue. Just accept it and move on.
Why can't you also accept my move on?
No.
So petroleum
Because you
was
think
sold
I'm
at
not right,
18 Ghana
but you
cedis.
are.
It was a
And
range.
diesel
So
was sold as 23 Ghana
it's just
cedis
like
per
the
liter.
way we have 17. Some pump stations are selling diesel at 18, depending on the location you are buying. We have it. And this is just a week or two. We never can tell what will happen next month. Let's go ahead.
Nobody is saying something cannot happen next month. If
I mean,
something,
you are the
you see,
magicians of the economy.
if something happens next month, do you know what we do? Independent minds will sit down and compare the word price when it was selling at 23 at your time, and the word price that is selling now. I made analysis. I gave you figures and told you that when it was 23 cedis, he said I should clarify. So when diesel was 23,
when diesel was at 23,
when diesel was 23 cedis, which is what I purchase, I buy diesel more than petrol. When diesel was at 23 cedis, the world market price for a metric ton of diesel was $695 that time. Now it is $1,425, and we are buying it at 17. Which one do you think is costly? When the thing was cheap there, we were buying it high here. When it is expensive there, we are buying it lower here. Which one do you think is better? And when I make this argument, my brother won't understand and say I should state it. I should say petrol, or I should state diesel. I should do averages. You see, I will say what affects me directly. You see, I'm not an alien.
No, but
listen. I'm not an alien.
You shouldn't say that.
I'm a Ghanaian.
You shouldn't say that.
When I say alien, it's not like coming from the sky. Alien can be somebody who has not been in Ghana and then just came to Ghana. We can classify them as aliens.
immigrants.
Lawyers have their own issues.
So I'm not somebody who just came into the country. I've been here. I've seen J.H. Mensah or J.E. Mensah or something. He's an NPP stalwart. He died years ago. Using a gallon of what do you call it? Kerosene. That time, and then 60 pesos. A gallon at that time was around 60 pesos. Asking us, kerosene mutimito esidebi. Yeah, buy better to swam.
Yeah, I remember that song too. They made a song for that.
You see, so today, if we've all agreed that fuel is not something that we should use as politics, then we should come to a conclusion. We should come to the table and decide how we can build a sustainable fuel sector. You get it? Where we have reserve. Me, I always talk about this reserve. I don't joke with this reserve thing, no. Because something can happen and we will not get a country to buy fuel from.
At all.
What happens? I got to a time in this country, even if Ghana decides to refine its own crude, Tema Oil Refinery was not working. Tor wasn't working. You get it? He granted that, there are issues in the world. Ghana, we cannot take our crude oil to go and sell. We've decided that our own crude oil, we refine them in this country and use. Tema Oil Refinery is not consistent. Today it's working, tomorrow it's not. So how do we survive? And fuel is everything in this country. Fuel affects everything in this country. Everything.
Yeah.
Fuel prices and fuel affect everything in this country. Everything.
Price of goods and services will go up. Immediately fuel prices also go up.
So you understand? That's why I want us to remove politics. This one said this one said that, and come together at the table and decide the strategic way forward to mitigate these kind of circumstances. If we hadn't collateralized our ESLA receivables, we could have been using some to cushion the consumer today. But where is it? It's gone.
So what would the government fall on now?
That's the issue. Where?
What about 2016?
2016, ESLA had been implemented in 2015, right? How many receivables had we gotten at that time? Can you tell me?
Well, you know best that I am, so you can proceed. You know best.
So you pass a bill. I'm coming. Let me check and know exactly when the bill was passed. You passed a bill in December 2015. Then 2016, you think that the money has accrued. There's huge money lying there to cushion to cushion, what do you call it, the consumer. when you came and you noticed that the money accrued was too much, and I'm going to call you loan, no, me boy. Eh? So that's the basic point I'm trying to make. We can have these conversations. We can talk about this person said this, Sami Jemfi said that, and this person said that. At the end of the day, the consumer will be the person to suffer. Maybe Sami Jemfi self won't suffer. You get it?
Taking dollars. It's not paid in dollars now.
Maybe Sami Jemfi self won't suffer the consequences, but you and I will suffer it. So when you come and sit here, let's try as much as possible, and not to bring Sami Jemfi said this. Let's find let's profess solutions to the leaders. You see, you and I.
You made references to the NPP administration.
You and I.
And doing calculations.
The calculations I was doing during NPP's time, I wasn't saying that NPP had done wrong. I was only saying that the price at the world market at that time differs now. There it was low, now it is higher. Now lie. Did I say NPP has caused the world market price to go up? Did I say NPP person said it? I only reference E.T. Mensah or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Because of the conversation you just brought right now. That fuel politics is not something that NPP will do. And I'm telling you that they've done it in the past. You get it? So let's come together. Me, I always say that the reserves is my topmost priorities.
Right.
If we had bought plenty of fuel when it was $695 per metric ton, do you think that we would have been raising the price now that it is 1,425? No. But when it was 695, we didn't even have storage capacity to buy in bulk.
Right.
That is what we have to do, make investment in our storage units in this country so that we can buy more fuel and save for times like this. If we cannot subsidize it, let's buy it when it's cheap, store it, and then sell it to the ordinary Ghanaian when the prices out there goes higher and we feel that it is too high for us to buy. Nobody even knows when the conflict will end. Let's not sit here and kid ourselves that this conflict can end tomorrow next. It can be months. It can go years. The Straits of Hormuz that is causing all these problems. The war can even end, and Iran can still decide to charge for ships that go through.
Yeah.
It will go ahead to affect the price of fuel. You get it?
Yeah.
So these are the issues. These are the germane problems that we need to talk about.
So we have about 12 fuel taxes that we pay. We have the dealer's margin, the marketer's margin, we have fuel market margin, we have the boss margin, primary distribution margin, special petroleum tax, we have the energy sector recovery levy, sanitation and pollution levy, we have the price stabilization and recovery levy, we also have the energy fund levy, the road fund levy, and also the energy debt recovery levy. These are 12 components of fuel levy we're actually paying. Should it be temporarily removed, or it should be reviewed?
For me, I don't think I would advocate for the government to completely remove all the taxes, because this country can never survive without taxes. Look, aside politics, what the NDC guys are doing on media and all that, let me tell you, there's no way a government can rule this country without taxes. But in some critical situations, we are saying that the government must look at some taxes, if not completely scrapping them off. The government should review them so as to ease the burden on the citizens,
on the consumers.
Especially this D levy. It was introduced because the fuel prices went down. Now the fuel prices is going up. Commonsensically, it should be something that the government should scrap off.
They were brought in because fuel prices were low. But not the debt we have.
Not the debt you have. That was what they told us. Not the debt you have. You see, and even you could realize that we were arguing, what if the fuel prices are coming up? Are they going to review it? Are they going to scrap it off? And so, listening to the GPRTU, their demands, in fact, they never said they should scrap off all the levies at the petroleum products.
But they mentioned that they should scrap the 1 cedi levy. They even gave the government 48 hours ultimatum.
Exactly, and I think the call is okay. To me, the call is okay.
It's justifiable for them to
get it off, so as not to build commuters so much so that the transportation will not be high for us. Once the transportation is high in this country, the cost of living, goods and services will also go high. That is it. So now the NDC government is telling us the inflation is down, the inflation is a single digit. So once there's a little mistake, I tell you, it will hit the inflation to go high. But the thing is that whether inflation is high or low, we are still experiencing cost of living in the country. The cost of living is still high for us in the country. That is one thing I know. So getting rid of the 1 cedi levy, I don't think it's too much by the GPRTU. I don't think it's too much for the government to do. They can do it so that the people don't have a way of overtaxing or charging us. With the commuters who are using public transport, not even the public transport, the private users too as well. It means if the levy is off 4 prices, maybe there will be a change in the 4 prices when 1 cedi, if it is at 14 cedis or 15 cedis, we'll now see it reduced. 1 cedi can make a difference, can make a very huge difference. So I am in full support of the GPRTU
for the
government to get the 1 cedi levy off.
Right. So what about our local refinery? We have the Tema Oil refinery now working. And what do you think governments can do to make sure that we stop importing fuel?
I always say that if you look at our oil refineries in this country, it hasn't been active because we use it for politics, and we get a lot of gains from it. That's one thing I believe. I listened to the National Petroleum Authority CEO, Lawyer Tamaklo. He mentioned that that was last week, that the fuel we have in this country is enough to take us 4 weeks. That will not see any increment in the fuel prices. But today that is not the story. Now I believe that some of these crude oil stations you are mentioning, we don't have enough people with requisite mental magnitude to manage the sector. So somewhere along the line, I was even suggesting that if we could have any government that will pay attention to it, that would get some individuals out of this country to go and train them on how to manage some of these oil stations, it will go a long way to help us. We have so many of them, but how functionable are they? They are not functionable. But when you ask, anytime you ask, it's just because we have no people that has that knowledge in working directly to sustain our crude oil in the country. That has been the problem. So the government, of course, can do something better. I think we can get some individuals, train them in the outside world to see how others are being managed, petroleum products are being managed in the outside countries, so that when they come into this country, they can have that knowledge, transplant it into our sectors here, our crude oil sectors here, so that we can have enough crude oil in the country. If, for like my brother said, if for not at all selling them or exporting them, we can have it in the country, then it will help our citizens.
Right. Mr. Week.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
What can we do? What can the government do about our local refinery?
You see, he said it rightly. We've played politics with Tor for a very long time, and it is not helping any of us. It has not helped. So we have to sit down and come. I always say that, whether we like it or not, NPP, NDC, they are going to be interchanging power until whenever Ghanaians decide that they don't need any of them anymore. You get it? But they are not going anywhere anytime soon. These two political parties are not going anywhere anytime soon. So instead of having this policy separately, this person also having an opposite policy, why don't you come together, formulate a strategy that will push this country forward? We can do same with Tor. If NPP sit down, NDC and NPP come together and decide that, let's do this policy for Tor, any of us that is in power must follow it, Tor will work properly. Let's put competent people there rather than awarding Job for the boys. This person shouted on radio the loudest. This person sent me money for my campaign. Hence, go and manage Tor. See, in the energy sector, you need expertise. That's why he said we should try and then get expertise, train people outside the country, and build their capacity to come back down here, and then manage our institutions for us properly. So if we are to resource Tor, expand their reserve capacity, we can do this.
Right. President Mahama is also looking at signing an MOU with Dangote refinery for a stable supply as well. What do you think?
I mean that Dangote built his.
Yeah.
Tor and then Dangote. Which one came first?
Tor was there before Dangote.
So why has Dangote overtaken Tor?
That he has interest in it.
No, I cannot say he has interest in it, because NDC has been in power before, NPP has been in power before. If both political parties had the foresight to make Tor bigger, we wouldn't be talking about Dangote today. But because Tor is not big and you cannot use a year or two to do Tor bigger than Dangote, then he is forced to go to Dangote to sign an MOU.
Yeah.
But in the previous times, if we had invested properly in Tor, expanded, I always use Poku trading and Melcom as example in Kumasi. When we were children in Kumasi, when your parents take you to Poku trading, what the bronya, that's your Christmas. Melcom wasn't anywhere to be found. Poku trading still has one branch in Kumasi, one branch. Still, all the years, still has one branch. Look at the branches Melcom has in Kumasi, in Accra. That is the typical Ghanaian mentality. You don't try to even expand. We are just content with just the one. We wouldn't be talking about Dangote today if previous administrations had invested in Tor, in expanding it. We could have made Ghana the energy hub of West Africa. Where do we get our LPG gas to even do our light? We buy it from Nigeria through the WAPCO. Whilst the Sankofa Entaine, we have natural gas there, we are just burning it away. Instead of just building the second gas plant, aside the Atuabo gas plant, we built the Atuabo gas plant and we are content with it. We are not deciding to add anything. And that is the problem with Tor right now. I think that it is not something I would have wished that he does, as in going to sign a memorandum of understanding with Dangote refinery. But the circumstances, he cannot build Tor tomorrow to the capacity of Dangote. So he has to use that Dangote as a short-term measure whilst they look at avenues to resource Tor, expand it and make it bigger.
Right. So there's going to be a cabinet meeting on this whole issue of fuel prices increase. So as and when we get to hear anything, you hear from us. I think we call it a wrap on this particular topic. So we are moving on to our next news item. Minority to table private members' bill to reform Gold Board. The minority in Parliament says it will introduce a private members' bill to amend the Ghana Gold Board Act in a bid to fit what it described as major structural problems. The ranking member on Parliament's Economy and Development Committee, Kojo Ponkroma, said the current setup of the Gold Board has serious weaknesses. He explained that one key issue is the combination of regulatory and commercial roles within the same institution. According to him, this could affect transparency and accountability. He says the same body should not be both the referee and a player in the game. He also raised concern about certain parts of the law, including how gold hoarding is defined. He noted that this could negatively affect jewelers and other businesses in the gold value chain. Another concern is a cost to the state. He says government is currently paying incentives to gold dealers to discourage smuggling but this reduces the overall revenue Ghana earns from its gold. The minority says although some of their earlier suggestions were considered, many were ignored, hence the need for a new bill. They added that they will engage stakeholders as they prepare the proposal with the aim of improving efficiency, ensuring proper regulation, and protecting private sector players. Private members bill from the minority.
That's sweet.
Your people. Mr. Chambers.
Yes, I think it's a nice step. For me, I believe that Gold Board is one of the institutions that we have to see as a very sensitive institution, and that we need to pay much attention to it. The future of this country depends so much on Gold Board, and any leakage, mismanagement will cost us a lot as a country. A decision by the minority to table a private members bills to reform the Gold Board Act. I think it's a bold step towards accountability and transparency. I don't see anything wrong with that. You see, like in the test, you can have someone you have one institution that serves as a player and serves as a referee. That's a regulatory and then a trader policy. We had a structured gold purchasing system in the country, and that was started by the NPP. According to the NPP, we are of the view that there were things we had right, there were things we had wrong regarding this structured gold purchasing system. So if you as a new person is taking up the reforms, you are taking up the same reform, and that advices has been given, I think it is prudent to pay attention to it. You see, no serious economy will allow the regulator to be a trader.
You think it can never happen? It can't work hand in hand.
It cannot be. Even if it's going to work hand in hand, I believe that there will be conflict of interest somewhere.
How?
The thing is that Gold Board is designed to regulate the gold markets, and we already have bodies that are meant to engage in trading. We have the Minerals Commission, we have the PMMC in the country. Now, this is what they are changing, so that the Gold Board will not be directly involving in the trade. But you understand that if you are supposed to regulate a market where you are also supposed to trade, there are possibilities that you weaken
the other businesses,
especially the small scale businesses. Right. So if you weaken it, they might not even want to release their gold to you. They may try other means, and other means is what the ranking member of economy and then development committee is calling upon. If that happens, where you, the regulator, now tend to be the trader in the same market, what will happen is that people will be forced to smuggle the gold outside, and that's going to be a total loss to the nation. A typical example is this: when they started changing this structured gold purchasing system, that's a regulatory and trader purchasing system. You understand, and there's a report that the Bank of Ghana has reported that anytime they pumped $10 million to the Gold Board for gold purchasing, they make a loss of 15%, and that is $1.5 million, which is a very big loss to us. I don't want to pull in the IMF report on the loss,
of which they clarified.
Oh yes, I don't want to pull it in, but I believe that this particular call, it's a way to ensure that there's some kind of transparency at the Gold Board, and that the Gold Board doesn't make it in a way or give that perfect room to the small scale miners to smuggle their gold out. That is just the bottom line of it. And he provided a lot of suggestions, and I think somewhere along the line the NDC took it and somewhere,
Some
according
were
to
considered,
him,
some were ignored.
Ignored, and that is why maybe probably we are making a great law. So if they have considered this, and I love the fact that he said they are going to, the minority is going to engage with other stakeholders. It's a perfect suggestion. It's not within the powers of the minority to force the government to accept this proposal, but then of course, if they listen to it, I think it's for the betterment of the entire nation and not for the MPP. At the end of the day, they will only take a credit for contributing, and that it doesn't still add anything to them. So it's something I will not sit here to speak against. And for the fact that he said there were some loopholes that if they had the opportunity, they could have amend them or make sure that they get things right. That alone should draw a picture in the minds of the NDC so as to look keenly to the suggestions they are providing, because I believe experience, as they say, is always the best teacher.
It's all try. People have the experience.
That's one thing. If not at all, better than those who are managing it now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you indirectly saying they are not doing their job so?
I'm not saying so. You see, they said there are leakages. There are some issues regarding the gold board. According to the Bank of Ghana, 15% has been lost anytime they release money to buy the gold. So that could be as a result of the fact that some of these reforms are not properly handled.
But is the loss not, is the gain not more than the loss?
They said if they released 10 million US dollars, 15%, which is 1.5 million, is lost. So do we want to trade in the market where we always get lost? You are a media person. You know what 1.5 million can do for an ordinary Ghanaian on the streets. The number of schools it can put for those of us who are coming from communities where students are schooling under trees.
Right, Mr. Dubik. Is it
madam.
appropriate for an industry or an institution to be a regulator and also a commercial player?
I think a lot of people in this country don't even understand what gold board is. And I don't say this lightly, because Kojo Opon Kroma is somebody I really admire. He's a nice gentleman. But if I listen to what you just read, which is the first thing I've heard about this whole issue of new bill going to the parliament, I understand. I'm tempted to believe that he doesn't understand what Gold Board is. Gold Board is not a profit earning entity. You can read the Gold Board Act. It's not it's not supposed to make profit. So if you say that an institution that is not supposed to make profit, what they are supposed to report is surplus. And surplus is different from profit. An institution that is not supposed to make profit can be an industry player and a regulator at the same time. Then he doesn't even understand the concept of monopoly. You see, what Gold Board is brought to do is to monopolize the gold trading industry. Finito. Done. That is all. Don't forget that we had PNMC trading gold before it was converted into Gold Board. You understand? It is PNMC that is now Gold Board.
Yeah.
The only thing that has changed about PNMC is the name, the act that backs the Gold Board now, and the powers to monopolize the gold trading industry. Simple. So if Ghanaians are saying that Esinam, your mother sells fish. So yes. A mile of area hanging out on fish in our shawansa. Say ene one I'll be fish for one I'll bet ton fish nina. But yempesa a man annual be an bomb into woman musica. Momunko joke momunko ponano. Let them go to the beach and buy the fish, come and fry and come and sell to you. Are you not the person to tell them the kind of fish that you want? Or the kind of fish that sells? Are you not going to be the person that sells that sets the rules in that industry? Aren't you going to be the person? Because at the end of the day, if you take the regulatory powers from Gold Board and give it to another entity, or take the marketing aspect of Gold Board or the sales aspect of Gold Board and give it to another entity, it defeats the entire purpose of having Gold Board. Because one, Gold Board was brought to stop the smuggle and buy the gold. You get it? Yeah. So now you're saying he can only stop the smuggling. Who buys the gold? How does the person that buys the gold ensure that the gold is not smuggled? It's just like Cocoa Board. I always use the Gold Board and Cocoa Board. It is the same model. It is the same model. It is Cocoa Board that give licenses to buyers to go to the bushes and buy the cocoa, to go to the farm gate and buy the cocoa, and bring it to Cocoa Board, isn't it? It is Gold Board too. It's the same. It's Gold Board that also give licenses, purchasing licenses to their aggregators to go to the villages and buy the gold and bring it to. It is the same thing. It is just a monopoly. It is something that the government has decided that let's monopolize this sector of our economy and maximize the full potential of the sector, because it was free range, it was free market. People could go into the market and do whatever they want, including smuggling, including putting prices, uncompetitive prices on the product. So I don't get this. And what is they even talking about? You see, whether we like it or not, the composition of Ghanaian parliament, this bill will not pass. This bill, I'm being honest, this bill will not pass. The composition of the Ghanaian parliament right now, even when it was 138, 137, and NDC decided to bring a bill like this, that bill will not pass. The fact that you make suggestions and people don't take doesn't mean that your suggestion is conco. Or even if your suggestions were taken, the losses you are getting today, we wouldn't make those losses. I don't see those things as losses. They are trade-offs. If you do either accounting or economics, you understand trade-offs.
The 15.
I beg. It is for a greater good. Opportunity cost and everything will come in here. You understand?
Yeah.
Do you want our dollar or our exchange rate to be fairly lower, or do you want to have your $50 million in your pocket and the dollar will be around 20-30 cedis? It is something that economists do all the time. They weigh their priorities and look at what matters most and then choose it. So that will bring trade-offs and opportunity costs. So these things are normal. What do you call it? My man, Opon Kroma, is an economist. He's a lawyer too. So these things, I don't even expect him to have a challenge. But I understand. It is politics.
This is not politics.
Bro, so the explanation I gave you, or you didn't understand?
No, listen. Let's be
honest, disagree.
Please. Let's be honest with ourselves. That the current CEO of Gold Board admitted that sometimes they need to pay bonuses to the small scale miners to deter them from smuggling their cocoa out. Are we not making loss to the nation?
So my brother, are you honestly telling me? No,
look, nobody would disagree with the fact that Gold Board is not to make profit. But that is to say that Gold Board does not also generate their own monies. They pick the money from elsewhere, and that is the Central Bank, Bank of Ghana. So if the Central Bank has pumped money to them and they come back with a loss, is the nation or is the country not losing?
Starting from 1st April, Gold Board is going to use its own money to purchase the gold.
Starting from
1st April.
So Gold Board.
So they will not be taking money any longer from Bank of Ghana.
Initially they were taking from the.
Initially, you see.
So that is what I'm saying.
I'm coming.
Let me land. So that's what I'm saying. That the fact that you've established the fact that we should not, blame the Gold Board. Kojo Pong Kuma is coming out with this private member bills. Look, it is clear and it is obvious that we need to have some kind of transparency, some kind of accountability at the gold sector. Gold is so essential that people can just tamper with our gold at any point in time. And Bank of Ghana is reporting that we are losing a lot. So losing, like I said, 1.5 million because of charges and then transaction. That is what they admitted. They said they lost the 1.5 as a result of the fact that they engage in charges and transactions. Right. Look at these minor things and also pay bonuses to small scale miners not to smuggle their gold out. So why don't we look at this issue once and for all?
Right.
So does this bill that
Upon
Nkrumah is trying to introduce, will it stop smuggling?
Of course, it's
How?
if you see the entirety of every bill of reform in this
I'm
country
coming.
is not to completely.
You've
I say
answered
yes,
my question.
and you say how. If
So
you ask
it's okay.
how, you are
It's okay.
demanding. Hey,
It's okay. It's okay.
I
You see-
don't understand your position at all. You see, you ask how. How
It's
means I
okay.
have to explain.
I've
Our
understood.
time
You.
is up. Let him.
So you see,
Hey, time is up. Man.
we
But you spoke, pan.
you see, when you give somebody an incentive, what is the main purpose why somebody will smuggle gold?
It's either the money is not enough.
To get higher than
Yeah.
what you give the person,
Yeah.
right? So if you decide that, let me give you an incentive, let me give you a bonus, indirectly you are paying the person the same amount he would have earned if he smuggled it, which would discourage smuggling.
And that is making
Right.
it lost. When that we are making it lost.
So are we saying that we shouldn't pay the incentive and allow people to smuggle because we are making a
And
loss?
so definitely.
That's why I use trade-offs and opportunity cost in my analysis. If you want the gold and you don't want them to smuggle, you must incur some cost. For instance, if your bosses wants you here, and another media house wants to give you like maybe times 10 times 2 of your salary, and your bosses hear about it and go like, okay, because Esinam is a very good host,
Of course.
we won't let her go.
Which is yes.
So instead of increasing your salary to that level, you will not increase your salary. If you're taking 5,000 cedis, you're taking 5,000 cedis.
Shit.
But
real.
we are going to give you allowances to raise your salary to around 6,000 or 7,000 a month.
Okay.
Where
How does that
where
amount to a loss?
Where the allowances will also have.
I might even get
effects.
more than oh.
Yes, but you see, but because you not go through the hustle. Let's say, for instance, you live just here.
Yes.
Right. So you just walk to work. So the work is around. Your new job is around what circle?
Mamu.
Yeah, Cantonment or East Legon. So to commute from here to East Legon, you look at those things and say that okay, and I'm scanning incentives necessary. So for instance, if you have to smuggle, you have to use corner then things, go through unapproved route. Now obeje kakra or hanawa ton ha. You do it
You do it.
to avoid the stress. So I'm telling you for a fact, my brother, this bill that Kojo Oponkoma wants to introduce, we will still come back and have these same challenges and discuss these same challenges. You see, I always say this in this studio. There's no a perfect policy. I understand that.
Yeah.
As we are implementing it, we are finding loopholes and correcting it. And it's not every issue that can be remedied by law. The law doesn't remedy every issue. In the Gold Board Act, there's nothing like pay incentive. Is there in it?
No.
But when they started implementing it, they realized that people will smuggle their gold out to get higher pay. So let's give them incentives to discourage them from smuggling it out. That is not law. You don't
Right.
use law to fix every problem.
Right. You don't use law to fix every problem. This has been a very insightful discussion right here on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We call it a day, but before we do, your final words.
I think you should go.
Why?
Okay, let me give my final words. Okay, a happy Easter to everybody. It's a holiday. Let's party and enjoy ourselves in moderation. Let's party and still go home to our loved ones. Let's not party and then be carried in body bags and all that. So let's go have fun and then go home peacefully.
Yeah. This is your key to party today. You don't like partying. Mr.
Well,
Chairman?
I want to greet the family of NPP in Zabsgo constituency. I also want to say that the family has been a very beautiful family. And doing my research around it, even though we lost the last election, I believe that we always lose, the NPP always lose Zabsgo seats anytime there's disunity within the NPP members. And so this is a time for us to come together to create some kind of unity in the party so that 2028 we will liberate all the children in that constituency.
2032 you must contest.
Yeah, of course. So to all the Christians who are celebrating Easter, especially the Catholic members, I wish them all the best.
All the Christians.
All the Christians, but especially.
You know,
I'm a Catholic member.
he's jabbing me. I know. I'm a Christian.
Ask me his
I'm a
church.
Christian.
Hey,
me, I'm a Church of Pentecost boy.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We have a very lovely time here. Thank you so much, Mr. Dubik, and thank you to Mr. Chambers as well for such an insightful program. Thank you so much. Spend the Easter holidays well. Drink responsibly and enjoy well. And go back home but not in body bags, as Mr. Dubik cited. Right. Thank you so much for joining us. Do have a lovely day.